Welcome to episode 15 of Realty Talk with
Ellie
and Hannah
and Galen. So today we are here. We had a little group meeting tonight, and tonight is Hannah's first ever time behind the mic. If you have not met Hannah, we told her she can't do her first official episode until she passes her real estate course, but Hannah's been around for how long have you been?
since April. No,
No.
August.
Yeah, there you go, Hannah. You screwed up your first time ever talking. Very good start to a podcast. So since
A words. It's fine.
since August, which is pretty far, decent amount of time, so about eight months. So she's been shadowing and doing that, and a very, very bright and hardworking young lady. So we're super excited to have her. But she is here on her first ever podcast, so she's kind of crashing our party. But me and Ellie did not do a podcast last week, so we broke our streak of 14 straight weeks.
We missed one in February too when I was gone and you were gone.
Did we?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So we lied. So this is our second. This is our second one. Yeah, Ellie told the truth. I lied. But not for a good reason. We were busy, and our big thing we did on Friday was the Adirondack Bridal Show, and I thought went over very well. You guys were both there, and I thought it went very well. Did you have fun?
I did have fun.
You have fun?
It was awful.
Okay, so Ellie, we're not gonna thank Ellie today. So Hannah, how did you know? So I think overall I had a blast. I thought it was good. I thought it was a fun event. I thought there was quite a bit of people, more than I thought there was going to be, to be honest.
Yeah, it was way busier than I expected.
Yeah, and it looked kind of cool the way they had it set up with the tents and the lights, and it almost felt like kind of club kind of style at certain points, like especially towards the later in the night. I think they purposely did that with the lights and stuff, but I thought our booth was good. I thought we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. Anything else on that? I think you took photos? You were doing the photo booth.
Yeah.
We both were.
Yeah. I was just excited to see how many actual local people showed up and supported the 5th annual bridal show. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, there was a lot. There's a lot of, and actually looking at the sheet I kind of got the sheet from the girls. A lot of different places, like every part of the county, and a couple even weird outside parts were there. And I gotta look. There may have been some Vermont people too.
There were a few Vermont. I was actually surprised by the amount of out-of-state people, because we did get a whole lot of locals, but we got more non-locals than I expected as well. Just people who were moving to the area, or people who were family in the area. It was just pretty cool.
Yeah, and I thought it was a fun event. I know that Anna and Steph, it was the first time running the event. So I only expect bigger and better things, because they expanded it quite a bit this year, and I thought they did very well in having a little bit of everything there, meaning pre-wedding, post-wedding, during wedding kind of stuff, and the music and the bar and stuff. I thought it was done very well. I was impressed that was our first ever event as a group, and it went well. I thought you ladies were awesome. Jordan and Courtney did phenomenal too, so that was a fun event. I was sometimes running around, so I didn't do as much as you guys did, so you guys did really well. Hannah, can you tell people who you are a little bit, not going too crazy, but just kind of introduce yourself, because we did this for Ellie on her first show.
Yeah, so my name's Hannah Wilson, and I've lived in the the Plattsburgh, Peru area for my whole entire life. I've never moved. I've always stayed right inside Peru. And now I'm just attending SUNY Plattsburgh with a marketing major and an entrepreneurship major. And I'm going into my junior year, so everything's going good so far. And my hobbies are just I enjoy running, and I enjoy business and talking and meeting new people. So that's what keeps me happy.
And why did you want to do real estate?
So it's kind of weird. So one day I was just in the car with my dad, and I was like, man, I really don't know what to do with my life. And my dad was just you've always watched HGTV, and I was like, you know what, you're so right. And then he was like, you could become a real estate agent. And at first I was like, that's a job. I didn't know people actually, that's what everyday people did. I just thought that's what people on HGTV did. So, it opened my eyes, and after that I started researching it and looking it up. And once I get my mind set on something, I get obsessed. So I kind of just wanted to start it as soon as I could.
When was that?
So he told me about that when...
July?
No, he told me about that my junior year of high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So a few years.
Yeah.
No, so that's good. So we ended up meeting just kind of through serendipity. So that was good. I'm glad Hannah's here. We'll save some of it for her longer podcast. We'll get you on for a Gail and Trombley Show podcast. So I think Hannah started to say, why am I podcasting? Why do I do this? I mentioned before. I don't know if I mentioned on this Realty Talk. I definitely mentioned it on the Gail and Trombley Show. Is the reason I podcast is a bunch of reasons. Number one is selfishly I like it, meaning I like podcasting. I like listening to it. So I just thought it'd be fun that I can host my own podcast and talk to a lot of people. Number two, that's from that standpoint. Number two, I get to know people a little bit better on the Gail and Trombley Show because it's a longer conversation. I learn stuff about people every single time. Ellie's been on a couple times and I keep learning new stuff about her, so that's good. And in regards to everybody else, why I did Realty Talk is it's probably the only thing I think I really know a lot about that I could actually tell people, meaning I have some knowledge in other random aspects of life, but probably not enough that I could center around a podcast where people would want to hear me talk about. So this is really me kind of scratching that itch of allowing me to hopefully give back to clients. I know other agents in the area listen to this, which is fine. Like I said, I'm all for real estate is one of those I really believe there's a ton of business to go around, and I'm not like a chipmunk hoarding and like waiting for like to hibernate in the winter. Like I'm fine to share, and I love it when other realtors do well. I think it elevates my game, and I think our company's game, and I think it just provides a better experience for everybody in the area. So I encourage them to listen to this and take what they can away from it. And also it allows me from a marketing standpoint to chop it up and use it for different content creation later on. And we've been able to do that with a lot of help from Jordan. And that's been kind of cool, which allows me, again, to spread the message and to hopefully help people in a platform that I put out a free content that with people can get in knowledge, and it helps people out. Because I think people think they know stuff about real estate, but when it really comes down to it, they don't know a lot, meaning buyers and sellers. And I think that they might know a general concept, but there's a lot of nuances of the business that I hope to talk about and that help people out. So that's why I do the podcast.
So how long were you like planning before you actually launched your first podcast?
Probably a year.
You were planning for a whole year?
Yeah, I think I had it down that I wanted to do a podcast for a year. I've been listening to podcasts for years, like multiple, probably 3, 4, 5 years consistently.
Oh, wow.
And then I was always like, hey, I just want to, it'd be cool to do one. And then I never really got over the hump or where I wanted to do it. And I don't think I really had a reasoning to do it. And it kind of just came to fruition at the end of last year. And I talked with my buddy Matt, who runs Craigcast, Matt Craig. Look him up, great dude. And he was one that I always gave him shit for not starting to do something. I always had it, but I don't think I was really super serious about doing it. And then literally one day I talked to him, within an hour came back, had all this ordered and shipped. And within the week I actually had him on my first podcast. I did not know how to run this thing. I was literally learning how to use it prior to him walking in. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know anything. But that, as you guys know, that's usually what I do, is I just start and try something and hopefully it works out. If not, we adjust and keep moving forward. But we're constantly doing stuff and improving and expanding and going forward. So that's just my mindset of always getting better. Any other questions, Hannah?
Well, I just think that like starting it now is probably like the best idea, just because I think a lot of people are like now like listening to podcasts more than ever. I think it's like really upcoming thing for people to jump in on.
Yeah, and I think something like this is it going to be like a nationally syndicated thing? No, it's not. I mean, if it does, that's pretty cool. But if probably Realty Talk. I don't think Gail and Trombley Show, because Ellie brings a lot. Ellie brings that wow factor that's going to get us on that next level.
Yeah.
But I think from a local standpoint, though, there's a lot of local podcasts that people are doing, and I think it's cool. I got some good buddies that do podcasts, and I think even though they're local, do it at a pretty professional level, meaning it's not just like something they record on their phone and it's really bad quality. I think we've all invested in equipment, and we've all put time into our guests and who we want, and just try to make it overall a good experience and hopefully listening experience for people, and they get something to take away. I think that's it. I mean, I think it's fun too. I've got a lot of positive feedback. I've gotten very little negative feedback, and if it doesn't really bother me. I don't care. And the positive feedback's fun because it just validates it, or people say, hey, enjoy listening to it. It's good.
Yeah.
But I think we're like at 1,500 downloads right now, which is
Nice.
quite a bit. I mean, to me, that means 1,500 people at, doesn't mean 1,500 different people, but it's been downloaded 1,500 times. So like, Ellie listens to every episode I know, so that would be 40 downloads just because of Ellie. But no, realistically, I think each show gets like 30 to 40 downloads.
So,
That's awesome.
So you have to download each episode, and what's
Well,
the
it gets-
difference between subscribing?
Like if you it's kind of both. Like if you go download, you can like go. Sometimes I will search podcasts and I'll find a random podcast I want to listen to. It might not be something I want to subscribe to, but maybe if I know some guest that I want to listen to is on some random podcast, I'll listen just because that person's on it, not necessarily because who the host is. And there's other podcasts like a Joe Rogan who I just follow him because I really like him, and then I just listen to as people come on, I'll listen to them.
So in order to listen to a podcast, like an individual episode, you have to download it.
Okay.
So if you subscribe to someone, you can make it so it automatically downloads, but you can also just find an episode, download it, listen to it, and then leave and
Alright.
never touch them again.
Yeah, so I believe when a download is someone that actually listens to it.
Yeah.
Because I think even if it pops up on your feed,
You have to like hit download
You
to get it on your phone.
you actually have to play it to have it like considered, even if it's a subscription. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then the local podcasts, like Craigcast and Stories of Gumption with Ryan Lee. Those two, those are very good friends of mine, and they both do it. And I think the quality is there, the guests are there, and I enjoy listening to those. So I'll put those on. Like I said, just to kind of know, like I like local news and stuff more than national. Like I'll listen to like a Joe Rogan, which is cool, but like I like the local people that I can talk or listen to because one of them that was just on one of those podcasts, I reached out and I have a meeting next week with them. I knew them before, but just
Yeah.
kind of like, hey, I actually listened to something that was interesting, and I think that we maybe can help each other out in certain aspects. So it's
Yeah.
kind of, it gives me a little background, and especially because I'm trying to really build our community up, playing our small part with others and trying to make the community better and try to grow it and try to have just positivity and good people in the area that hopefully will just, like you said, the quote over there, rising tide raises all ships, meaning that if we can all raise the tide or the energy or the economic level of our community, everybody will benefit. So that's kind of my thing, is not to be, I think it was funny, as you know, I listen to a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk stuff. It's not, he always says, I'm not trying to tear people down, I'm trying to build the biggest building. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to tear anybody down, I'm just trying to build the biggest building. Like, I hope all the skyscrapers get as big as me, I just hope I'm just gonna grow the biggest. Like, but he's not doing it from a standpoint of like, I'm gonna Godzilla all you down to the ground, so mine's the only one standing. And I try to kind of look at that perspective. I'm trying to, you guys know me enough, especially Ellie, is I'm very blinders on, where I really focus on our own stuff, and it was just so cool. I was describing or talking to them about some of the, kind of looking at stats and production and just overall like goodwill of people in the area. I think we're making a positive impact, our company is, and that's makes me extremely happy because we're doing some good stuff.
Yeah, well, I think that's also the only way to do it. Like, there's no way you can just, be the tallest standing building. Like, you need, like, people to support you and to rise with you at the same time. Like, it's impossible to do it all yourself. So,
Rookie.
yeah.
No, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
And you talked about like the bridal show. Like, I wasn't gonna go do the bridal show by myself. I could have. It would have been about 1/10 of the production, and it would have been about -10%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really bad quality. But like I said, that's why I had there's 5 of us there. There's a reason I had 5 of us there, because 5 of us are gonna do not 5 times better. They're gonna do 200 times better. Just because of exponentially having
Yeah.
the people, and we were all energetic, and I think I was getting very good feedback on our booth, and I still am, and I think that's cool because I think we were energetic and people liked it.
Yeah.
Well, I was genuinely happy to be there. Like,
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was like a very good experience to have.
I'm mad I didn't see the baby goats though. Like, I knew they were gonna be there and I forgot, and then I didn't walk around, and
I didn't
Miss
know.
the baby
I
goats.
wish we could do better. Like the business expo, which we're gonna go to. Can you go to that?
What day is it?
It's in June
June.
6th. Thursday, June 6th, like all day. Till like 4:30.
And where is it?
Great, Fieldhouse.
I should be able to go to that.
Okay, good. Put it on your calendar now. But that one's gonna be a little longer, so we'll have more time to kind of go around it,
I'm excited
and we're
for
gonna have, I think, probably close throughout the day 5 to 7 people,
Yeah.
roughly. I mean, I'll be there all day, but like you'll be able to go mingle with people, which is what I want you to do. You know,
Yeah.
not just stand at the booth the whole day. That will be fun though. I think we'll have a good time with that. That was a trial run that we just did, and now a couple of things were the follow up stuff that we talked about doing.
Yeah.
Seeing how that works and maybe tweaking that, you know, a month from now, but we'll see how that works out. The last thing I really had on the docket to talk about was how crazy the market is right now. I don't know, like you might have seen, at least checking the MLS and going through it, how quickly homes are selling.
It's unbelievable.
I have an offer right now. I had a house, put it on a couple of days ago. Not even that. God, I don't even know. It's been on for a day and a half. I think by the end of the night we're gonna have 5 offers on it, which is insane. Like that's just the way the market is
That's
right now,
wild.
and it's crazy. And I just think it's one of those markets that I think we're in a significant housing shortage, and I don't think that we're gonna have any. We're not climbing out of this hole anytime soon. Meaning, I think this could last for a couple years. The only way I see it coming out is honestly if we have like out of town developers coming in to build
New
housing
construction.
developments.
Yeah.
But it'd be like it's tough for like an individual builder to say I'm going to build a condos or I'm going to build a whole subdivision. But some are trying to do it, but you're going to see like these big companies out of New York or Boston or Chicago or wherever, and they're going to pump in millions of dollars to build up communities around here, which would be exciting.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And I can't wait. And
Yeah.
I'm 100% believer. Hopefully I'm right. That's my belief right now. I'm hoping that 5 to 10 years from now we can replay this footage and be like, wow, we were right about
Plattsburgh's
that.
gonna explode. I think.
I agree.
In a good way.
In a good way,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think, and people have asked too, like, we always talk about the seller's market and how great it is for sellers. And I had the conversation tonight before I got here with a buyer. I said, guys, it's 100% a seller's market. It's the best time to sell in 15 years. But on the same token, interest rates are still historically low. And any house you buy now, it's going to appreciate like crazy over the next 5 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the median home prices for residential real estate in Clinton County from a year ago, so, and again, I'm saying median because that takes out all the crazy outliers, the highs, lows, is up almost 10%. So to take a $115,000 home that's a year ago is now selling at $165,000. And to be honest, the average sale price is the average sale price has gone up 15%. So if you add the outliers in, it's still trending more in the high direction.
Yeah.
So that's in a year. That's not like over the last 7 years. That's in 1 year. And if you look at that, there's a reason. And I had some people I've been texting today, and everybody's like, all these homes are overpriced. And I'm like, no, they were a year ago. But I said now there's homes that come on the market. I'm looking at them like, there's no way that's going to sell pending within 10 days. And I'm like, then it comes through like MLS and it went for asking price. I'm like, how is this happening? And I mean, I'm starting to get to the point with some listings too. It's like, let's err a little bit on that high side, or like the one I was talking to you about, let's put it right where we know all the offers are going to come in, and we'll just watch the price rise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's wild right now. I've never experienced this before, but we've had to get very, 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 what's the word, imaginative, inventive, meaning we've had to come up with weird scenarios and how to get homes, pending and things I've never, like tricks I've never really had to do, or things I've had to come up with in order to be like, hey, here's some ways that we can negotiate to get you into a home, or here's some funky ways that in almost every home you're going up against somebody.
Yeah.
Very rarely, or you're getting in there day one to get an offer in so no other ones can see the house and you can buy it. So it's extremely crazy. When I got into the business almost 10 years ago, it was very simple. I was working as a buyer's agent. So imagine now, like buyer's agent and all the homes are out there. I work with a buyer. I could take them through 10 homes next week, take them through the same 10. Next week, take them maybe through 12 homes because 2 more came on. And then it'll be like, hey, that home we saw a month ago? I think we'll make an offer on it now. Now it's like, okay, there's one home we can see, and you gotta make an offer today because it's gonna be off the market by tomorrow.
I have a buyer right now, and I send them the listings as soon as they come on, and this week alone, 3 homes they wanted to see. We scheduled showings, and they all were canceled because they went pending before we got to see them. And they were all went up, and they got the email, texted me, made a showing, it was canceled. And I can tell they're getting frustrated. It's just like,
Yeah.
Just gotta be patient.
Yeah.
Something's gonna.
It is, and I try. I mean, it's hard in our business too because we're always looked at. Something will happen, and all of a sudden, like, I get this all the time. Home inspection, deal falls apart because of home inspection. Now buyer gets pissed at me, doesn't want to work with me. It's like I didn't do the home inspection. Like,
Yeah.
what are you mad at me for? I mean, and to be honest, the home inspection is up to your standards. So
Yeah.
you obviously have very high standards and didn't want the home, but we get that all the time. Where now we're looked at as the bad guy because the deal fell apart. I'm like.
People need someone to blame.
Yeah, and it's like, you can blame me, but I said, it was a home inspection. I didn't do the home inspection. I didn't build the house. I just look at it as, do you want the home? No, okay, let's go find another home. Not like, well, screw you, it fell apart, we're going to go work with another agent. It's like, well, okay, I don't know where I fall in as being the bad guy in that scenario, but at the end of the day, you bump it off and you just keep moving forward, and that's something that any realtor that's been in it long enough, you have thick skin. Like, very little bothers you, very little gets you down. You could have down moments where it's like a little dip, but at the end of the day, as long as I'm trending up, meaning, I could have a real bad week or a bad month, but it gets better. And at the end of the day, it's always getting better. You know what I mean? That's something I still, even to this day, remind myself, like on days where it's like bad days, meaning like you've had a lot more, I shouldn't say more bad, there's always more good than bad in the day, but maybe the bad stuff kind of weighs on you a little bit more on certain days. Those days are the ones that I got to keep reminding myself, like, okay, next week will be better,
Yeah.
or next even tomorrow will be better, and I think that's a positive thing to have. Hannah, what are you most looking forward to real estate wise?
So what I would say I'm most looking forward to in real estate is probably just making connections. I don't know if real estate's going to be like the end thing for me. I'm only 19 right now, so for right now I want to make connections, really find out like who I am and what I enjoy, and like play the game and just grow myself and see what other people around me have to offer, and definitely like learn, and yeah, that's it. Like, there's a lot that I expect from it. I expect, like, a lot of experiences, a lot of growing. Like, I have a lot to learn with how to talk to people and, like, how to just,
Yeah, like grow as a person.
yeah.
I think the biggest thing, when I was your age, I got my license at 21. Ellie, you're obviously mid 20s at this point, so you're, I think, well, you're good. You're but like I take someone like Hannah. Hannah at 19 was way more mature and smarter and better at everything than I was at 21 when I got my license. Like, your mindset is way beyond what I had. I had like a decent mindset with certain things, but
Well, definitely sometimes I do like I'll get so far ahead in my thinking that I'm like, oh, wait a minute, like, let's first take it back to my first step, and let's first like take my course and pass my course,
Yep.
and like experience this, and then once I'm done with that, let's experience something else. Like, I get ahead of myself very easily, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm still taking a course. Like, I've got to relax and
Yeah.
focus on one thing at a time.
Well,
So
I think it's good though that, like, one of my most common dreams at night, I know it's weird, it's not even like a dream, it's just when you sit up at night and think, it's just, I think my mind's a mess, it's constantly running, but I'm always thinking about like myself, the business, like how can I improve. I'm always about improving myself. Every day, trying to take opportunities, trying to just grow, and there's times when my mind is, and it's a weird, very weird dynamic to have. My mind is at times 10, 15, 20 years down the road, and I can see it so vividly, meaning like I can see certain aspects, not like super vividly, like, what am I wearing that day, or who's the other people that are with us, but like I can see, like, we're gonna be able to accomplish this. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen, and like I can see it in my mind. Like, and I've always been kind of a visualizational person. I think it's just come naturally to me. But the same thing. That's way ahead of myself. I get super excited, but then I also look back because I get super excited for the day-to-day stuff too. So it's not like I'm not just excited for what I'm going to accomplish, which I always think that people talk about. Enjoy the journey, the road. Like, it's so true. Like, when I was playing, say, high school sports, we would win the state championship on cloud 9. But at the end of the day, like, the next day, you were like, I still want to play. Like, I know we accomplished what we wanted to do, but the memories are all the build up to that game and the stuff that you really like focused on. And I think that's so true in what I've been able to do over the last 10 years. Like, I don't look at oh my God, where am I now? Like I always reminisce. I'm like, holy shit! Like 5-6 years ago, this is what I was doing. Or I remember that house. Or I remember screwing up that deal. Or I remember meeting that person. Or remember when so and so was involved. Like, and that I've now gotten to the point where I can have those memories, but it's always a building block going forward. So I always strip it down to like the day to day. It's like, okay, today I got to go to the office and make my calls. Today I got to go do a showing. Today we got to do a podcast. Like all of these little things, build, and build. And I think for you, just getting into real estate and experiencing that new, like, you're gonna learn way more by doing. You're gonna get way more in a year of real estate because real estate is a fantastic industry. You are involved with so many different fields that you're gonna laugh at your college courses. Like I was going to my last 2 years of college being like, this is like, it's all theory, it's all like ideas, and that, but like until you're actually doing stuff, until you're meeting with clients, dealing with people, real estate can get emotional. Meaning like not me, but clients. You know, selling a home, divorce, situation, loss of a loved one. Like this stuff is real, and we're sitting in front of these people, and they're emotionally spilling stuff out to you. Like you gotta have,
you have to have a very high emotional intelligence. You have to know how to like communicate with people. Like there's so much more to it than just selling a house. And I do believe that like the college courses can be such a joke because like, I mean, I'm a marketing major. I am in a marketing research class and I'm trying to make the most of every situation in every class that I'm in, but sometimes it's so hard because you can only get what the teacher is giving you in some circumstances unless you go out of the classroom and like find your own way to meet new people and where you go to school. So like what I'm doing at interning at Kavanaugh is an experience that I can't get in school, and sometimes I think that like school is honestly blocking me from like
can't wait.
Like fully.
Hannah's done this semester. She's done full time hanging out with us. So what would you think? I mean, I do a lot of marketing. Where from stuff you've seen me do compared to stuff you learned in college, I know where I stand on this 100%. I don't take any college courses with you, but what have you been able to pick up on stuff that I've done that you've been able to utilize that you didn't know about before?
So in my marketing class...
Absolutely not. Thanks, sir.
Yeah, so at the moment, I'm honestly learning more from my management class right now, like about human resources, about all the departments in a business, and about like how to fire, how to hire people, how to like make sure who you have on your team is good for you, and knowing when to stop and knowing when to go. Like management is honestly, I find it much larger than my marketing classes right now, but
more beneficial, you mean?
Much more beneficial.
Yeah. Well, I think things change too. When I was starting out, like my position now, I'm way more fascinated in managing and company growth. That did 2-3 years ago, that was not on my radar. Like I was not learning how to do that. Now it's like, we've had to hire a couple people, and I've now been on the like my dad obviously too, but like we've been on the process of that. No offense, like both of you, my dad didn't. I mean, most of you guys are now, but like,
I'm so offended.
Yeah, he probably doesn't. Like, I mean, you should see
he
my
texts
times.
me sometimes. He sends me leads.
I know. Sometimes I'm like, Ellie. Yeah. So was that? I'm like, that was Hannah. So, but like for the most part, like I would say everybody that's new to the company that wasn't an existing agent has come directly through me. Meaning like, so from a standpoint, I've had to learn that. Like I don't know how to, like, why was Ellie someone I would want to work with? Like, why did I think Hannah would be good? Like, we have Nicole now. Like, why did we have Nicole over other people? Like, it's trying to pick that out. A lot of it's a learning experience for me. Even, the financing part that I'm dealing with a little bit more now. I mean, there's more to running a business than just the day-to-day. Like, there's a lot of stuff. Like, it could be as simple as, like, stuff in the office, about office space, and, like, so but I'm learning that, and I didn't know how to do it before. So like to me, it's just learning on the fly. Like you talking about managing departments, and hiring. Like unless you hire somebody, I don't think you know how to hire. Like you know what I mean? Like you could have all like here's the A to Z like way to do it, and all of a sudden like well B didn't work out, so now why C won't work out and D won't, so now I got to deviate.
Yeah. And you definitely have to like hire and audit, like making sure that person's like audit them, doing their everyday work as it is, and it's like watching them do their job on their own and everything like that. It's like it's a big role. To,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, no, you're 100% right. Like audit, but like audit meaning, are they doing the stuff correctly? Are people on the same page? I mean, that's why I'm big on accountability. That's why, like,
make sure everyone does their part.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got pissed we didn't do a podcast last week. Not like, I mean, not real mad, but like,
Yeah.
me and Ellie have kept each other accountable. Like we've done this. I guess we missed 2 weeks, but
Almost every week.
almost every week, and the podcast. Some people are gonna be like, "Well, you'll do a podcast. You might do one. You'll miss a week. You might do one a month or two a month." Like I've done 1 to 2 a week every week since we started, and that's just because I've held myself accountable. And I was actually in a meeting yesterday, and I was telling the guy I had coffee with a friend, and I mean a business friend, and he gave me some very good advice at what I needed to ask him about. And he goes, "Well, why are you here?" And I'm like, "Well, because I had this as an appointment, and I don't like canceling appointments. And to me, this is still beneficial. I have a ton of stuff going on, but trust me, taking this hour to go do that stuff is not going to finish that stuff for me.
Yeah.
But the hour conversation I had with him over coffee was beneficial. It was more beneficial to me as a growth as a individual than me coming in taking care of some stuff in the office, and we're taking care of emails or things like that. So there's a lot of this stuff you grow as you go, you learn. So I'm excited for you because I think you at 19 are well beyond your years and the way you think and what you want to do. And who knows, you might do a couple years of real estate and it might lead to something else. But you've got a good background, and you might be like me, and all of a sudden 10 years down the road, Hannah's just behind me. No, I think whatever you do, you'll be phenomenal at it. So I think that's it. This is our longest Realty Talk podcast.
It might be, yeah.
We hit the half-hour mark.
Yeah, it is.
That's crazy. Shortest Galen Trombley show, but longest. Anything else you guys want to talk about? I think we talked about some good stuff today.
Yeah.
Hannah, are you okay with listening to your voice through your headset? Is it weird?
It is weird. I don't like it.
No?
Yeah. I don't think anyone really does. You're just kind of like, ew, my word.
I'm so used to it now that it doesn't even affect me. I think that I do so many of these, and I've had... Poor Jordan is probably the worst because the amount of stuff she's got to edit with my voice.
She hears it in her dreams.
I know. Oh God, poor Jordy. At times I wish you could turn my voice to something. I don't know, something a little better to listen to than maybe like a sexy Australian accent or something.
That'd be nice. You should work on that.
Like a Liam Hemsworth. Thor, which when I grew my hair out...
Chris Hemsworth. That's Chris.
Is it Chris?
Liam is his brother. I only know that because John corrected me the other day. I don't keep up with
Oh,
them.
John would totally...
No, it's because they're both ripped. Or
Oh, is that why? Oh, I thought it was good.
More ripped than the other.
I thought it was a Superman. Thor is Chris.
Well, hang on.
Thor is Chris.
Neither of them are Superman.
Thor, superheroes. Thor is Chris.
Yes.
That's the one that when I grew my hair out, I actually had semi-long hair. It was I gotta do that again. I think that'd be cool.
Or not.
Or not.
You gotta bulk up. You gotta bulk up a little bit first.
Yeah,
I was a little thicker back then.
You gotta get thick.
I was
3 C's.
I was 3 C's and no K's.
Yep.
I was a little bigger back then. I'm a little scrawnier now, not as strong, and shorter hair. So
You do you.
that's it. Just straight downhill. Just the downward spiral of my.
You go from Chris to Liam.
That's it. That's it. To I don't know.
Not a bad place
Some
to go.
scrawny little white guy. That'd be me. So I think we're good. Everybody good there?
We're all good.
We're
We're good.
We're
We're good.
good.
Okay. So that is episode 15 of Realty Talk with
Ellie.
And Hannah.
and Galen. We'll see you next week.